Hello and welcome to the Path to Freedom podcast, a weekly podcast with the intention to inspire, empower and uplift us all to develop a healing consciousness that we, that is you and me, may forever allow for greater and grander versions and expressions of who and what we are to emerge with ease, grace and spiritual dignity. My name is Daniel Roquillo and I am your host. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Path to Freedom podcast with me, Daniel Roquillo. This is a weekly podcast about freedom, about wholeness, about allowing for greater and grander versions and expressions of who and what we are to emerge with ease and grace. It is about developing a healing consciousness, which simply means that we rising consciousness to the level where spirit gets to flow in through and as us, unobstructed, unobscured, unhindered, where spirit gets to express itself fully and freely in us and through us, which in turn means that we release and let go of that which hinders and obstructs and obscures spirit from flowing fully and freely, from expressing fully and freely. So this is a weekly podcast, and if you have tuned in before, I welcome you back. If this is the first time, I welcome you just as much and perhaps a little bit more. No, not more, but just as much, because all are welcome to this podcast. This episode is going to be about surrendering. And the topic for today is All is Well, Peace Be Still, Part 2, because this is the second time this topic has come to me. We did an episode a while back also called All is Well, Peace Be Still. And I did have another topic for this episode, but Peace Be Still, All is Well has been coming so strongly to me these last few days that I just had to I just had to dedicate this episode to that topic. And obviously, as always, it is about me and my life, and things that I am going through and things that I'm growing through. That has to do, in this case, that has to do with surrendering, with thy will be done, with getting out of the way and letting God have its way with me. So that is the general gist of this episode. As always, though, before we get into the episode, before we get into exploring surrendering, the art of surrender, let's begin and let's move into a moment of stillness, a moment of meditation, followed by a moment of prayer. And so in this moment, I invite you to make yourself comfortable wherever you are. I invite you to enter into this meditation with a sense and a feeling tone that this is the first time you meditate. Even though you perhaps are a seasoned meditator, we want to evoke and we want to allow that beginner's mind, that childlike nature to take over, so that we go into meditation. Every time we go into meditation, we want to go into meditation with a sense of awe and wonder. So take on that feeling that this is the first time that you meditate. Obviously, I invite you to close your eyes. I invite you to smile, to put a smile on your face, because there's nothing serious about meditation, for one. And two, as we smile, the body releases cortisol and these beautiful endorphins, these feel-good hormones that increases the immune system, strengthens the immune system, that decreases blood pressure, that slows down the aging process of the body. So we want these beautiful and wonderful tonic chemicals to be released into our bodies. And so I invite you to smile. Regardless, it doesn't matter if you have anything to smile about. It doesn't matter if you don't feel like smiling. Smile anyway. Just put that smile on your face, because the body doesn't know the difference between a real smile and a fake smile. So just smile. And as we enter into the meditation, we do so with the intention to wake up, to call forth the wholeness that is inherent within us, to wake up to our true nature, to wake up to our oneness with the spirit, to wake up to knowing who and what spirit is, or however you want to articulate it or iterate it or describe it. But ultimately, we sit to wake up. I invite you to place your hands on your lap, palms facing upward, and have your thumb and your middle finger touch. Your palms facing upward signifies receptivity. Your thumb and your middle finger touching is a sign of transcending the ego. So still smiling, take a deep breath. Let's just be still. Let's wrap our attention around the feeling tone that all is well. All is well. And then let's turn our attention to our breathing. Allowing each breath to move us deeper and deeper into the stillness, into the wholeness, into the peace, into the joy and the love that is forever and eternally present right where we are. And while in meditation, whatever comes up, thought forms, emotions, resentment, anger, sadness, whatever comes up, let's just observe it, embrace it, and allow it to be, that we may release and let it go. We need not invest our time or energy into it. We need not deal with it. We can simply observe it. As if we were lying on a summer meadow, watching the clouds in the sky fly by. Simply observe. Simply embrace. Simply allow. is well. Peace, be still. We can also, and I invite you to gently tap in between your eyebrows. Tap that first eye to activate right seeing, to activate the seeing beyond the eyes and the hearing beyond the ears. Allow that first eye, that one eye, to become active and move back into meditation. And should a thought pattern or a sound or a noise pull our attention away from our breathing, we gently and lovingly turn our attention back to our breath, and we begin again. And as I move into prayer, I invite you to remain with your eyes closed, open and available and receptive to catch the vibration of the prayer, the feeling tone of the prayer. And so in this moment, how grateful I am for this sacred space in this sacred place. How grateful I am for the nowness of this moment, for the beauty that is here, for the wholeness that is here. for the abundance that is here, for the love that is here in the sacredness of this moment. How grateful I am for this podcast, for this episode, for you, whoever you are, wherever you are, for your participation in creating this field and this vibratory frequency that this podcast, that this episode is generating. Even though we seem to be separated by time and space, in truth, we are not. In truth, there is only here, there is only now. And so, regardless of when or where you tune in, it is the same field. This field is non-local, just as God is non-local. And I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for you. And it is full of gratitude that I recognize that Spirit is infinite love, that Spirit is infinite joy, and abundance, and wholeness, and harmony, and intelligence, and creativity. That Spirit is infinite bliss, and expansion, and ecstasy. How grateful I am to recognize that Spirit is everywhere, omnipresent, infinite. It is the only power there is. Spirit is omnipotent. It is the only, Spirit knows all there is to know. God is omniscient. And I know, and I'm grateful to know, that God cannot ever diminish itself. God cannot ever contradict itself or divide itself into parts, which means that wherever Spirit is, the fullness of Spirit is. Wherever God is, the essence, the full essence of God is present. And God is eternally seeking to experience and express itself in greater and grander ways in, through, and as all of life. Which means that right here where I am, right where you are, not only God is, but the fullness of God is. God is, we are love. God is, we are wholeness. God is, we are joy. God is, we are harmony, abundance. All of that which God is, we are, because God is and we are. Unique and perfect emanations of Spirit. The fullness of God expressing itself in us and through us. Something wonderful is happening in this very moment. In this very moment, something wonderful is happening. Everything is working for our good. Because as we and God are one, we are eternally sourced, fueled, and funded. We are eternally sustained and maintained. Forever guided and moved and led along the path of healing, along the path of freedom, along the path of awakening. And as we now choose to turn our attention away from the world of appearances, the world of effects, and turn within, we make ourselves open and available for that still small voice that is forever speaking and whispering words of wisdom and guidance to guide and lead and move us. Truly all is well, so peace be still. Truly all is well, peace be still. God is forever for us. Everything we need, we have. Everything we need, we have to allow for that next great and grand version and expression of who and what we are to emerge. And if we can only bracket the egoic projections of lack and limitation, of fear and worry and doubt. Come back to this moment, to the nowness of this moment, and feel that all is well. The demonstrations that will follow will be beautiful and magnificent, radiant, abundant, harmonious, because that is what we are in vibrational alignment with. Something wonderful is happening. I know it, I feel it, I accept it, I give thanks for it, I allow it to be. And as I release the word, I do so fully surrendered. I do so feeling and saying, Thy will be done. For I know that the will of God is for me and for you to forever expand, to forever allow for greater and grander versions of who and what we are to emerge with ease and grace. Nothing is against us. Nothing is against us. And this word is law. And as I say, Thy will be done, I know that it is done. In the mind of God, it's already done. And we are now, through being open and available, we are now allowing that doneness to demonstrate and manifest itself here in this dimension, in our experiences. I know it, I feel it, I accept it, I give thanks for it, I allow it to be. So it is, so be it. So it is, so be it. Amen. Welcome back to this episode, to this now, to knowing and feeling that all is well. So peace, be still. These, 5, 6 words. I'm looking at my wall painting and it's 6 words. All is well, peace, be still. These words, as I said in the beginning of this episode, they have been coming so strongly to me over the last couple of days. And they have been coming as a response to my seeking to plan the future, to me seeking to control the future. Let's back up a little and let me just give you a little background. Having my own business, I depend on contracts. And so I get hired by another company and I perform my services. And this has rolled beautifully the last number of years. And it will continue to roll beautifully. But a couple of weeks ago, a little bird whispered in my ear that perhaps my contract was about to expire. It would be closed down. And this contract that I have now, it is actually the only contract that I have. And so all of our financial, it is the only channel through which money flows right now. I know that money doesn't come from a contract. I know that money doesn't come from a company, but it's the only channel right now. And so when this little bird, when this individual told me that perhaps in the near future, I would quote unquote lose this contract. with no obvious or apparent new opening. A little bit, and I'm very grateful to that I was able to observe that it was only a little bit of fear. I was not fear struck. I was not panicking. I was not thrown into the basement. But there was a slight fear that arose from not knowing where or how money would flow into our lives. But it was not much fear, because I have been doing a lot of healing work around realizing that God is the source of my supply, that I'm forever, eternally sourced, fueled, and funded by Spirit. Money doesn't come from a job or a contract or another company, but they are the means through which money flows. They are the means through which financial abundance flow. And so there was not a lot of fear, but still, obviously, some fear rose. And then I had another conversation with another individual from the same company. It's a large company. And they told me of an opening, another opening. One of the managers is about to get laid off. And this individual thought that I was perfect for that position. But he was not in charge of the recruiting, and he was not in charge of any contracts or anything like that. But he said that if I was interested in that position, he'd put in a good word for me. And we have been working very closely for a number of years now, actually. And so I told him that I would think about it. I went home, I thought about it, and my initial response was that it perhaps was not a match to me. But as I went home and I meditated and I thought it over and I tuned in, and I realized that it's a perfect match. It's a perfect match, both in terms of what this position entails, in terms of my particular gifts and talents and abilities, of who I am, what I'm good at, in terms of our family or my family. This new position would mean more time to spend with my family. And so I went back to him and said, obviously, I'm interested. And I knew, and I still know, I still know, and this is the interesting thing, I still know that this position will be offered to me. I don't know how I know, but that's just the way the still small voice works with me. I know. Some hear, some see, some feel. I just know. It's an inner knowing. But there is no, on the surface, there is no evidence supporting my inner knowing. So I'm still in a sort of vacuum. I don't know anything about anything really. I don't know whether my current contract is going to be closed down, I don't know if the new opening will open up, because it was not official at that time yet. And also, as I'm working on contracts, I need to keep working on contracts. But perhaps they need to hire someone. And so perhaps the opening that will open up is a place of employment, but that does not work with me and for me. And so for the last week and a half, I believe, I have caught myself over and over and over again trying to manipulate the future, trying to control the future, trying to plan the future. I have caught myself over and over and over again writing scripts as to what I will say when they call me and ask and officially ask if I'm interested in this position. What will I say? And how will that conversation go? You know, all these things that the ego does when it projects into the future. I've built a whole scenario around how that conversation is going to go down. But that is not up to me at all. The end result is not up to me. The outcome is not up to me. What is all of that is up to spirit. And the only thing that is up to me is to maintain my vibration and my vibrational alignment with what I desire and my intentions. And my intention is to live and move in financial abundance. I don't care. I mean, my heart doesn't care how much money I make. Actually, I'm quite uninterested in how much money I'm going to make or how much money I'm going to be offered. But what I do care about is maintaining a level of financial abundance and freedom, especially freedom, more so than abundance. That me and my family, may continue to be free to not overindulge, and we're not going to go out and buy a lot of stuff, but that we may have what we need to keep moving and growing. That's my point of interest, and that's my intention. And that's all I need to know. That's all I need to turn my attention to. What my intentions are, what my visions are. And so whenever I have caught myself planning the future, these 6 words, all is well, peace, be still, accompanied by thy will be done, because that is it. That is where I want to turn my attention. To trusting, knowing, feeling that God's will be done. It is not about my will being done. It's not about me getting what I want, but it's about God paving the way for me to grow and to unfold and to expand. So peace be still. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. All is well. Peace be still. And then thy will be done. And it is a part of me, as I remind myself, or as I am reminded of taking on this feeling tone of elevating my consciousness above the small and the limited, because it is the small and the limited that has the need to control, to plan, thinking that it knows what is best for me, what is best for my family, what is best for anyone. And so a part of me has, on a couple of occasions, labeled me mad. First of all, because I'm not scared out of my wits. I mean, I'm the sole provider of my whole family. And obviously, money, we need money to be able to live in this house. We need money to be able to have our cars. We need money to be able to buy clothes and foods and all that. Obviously, we do. And so just thinking about, and I choose not to, and it's not very hard. It's not a very hard choice for me to make, but I choose not to think about the dire consequences if, you know, the worst case scenarios. And I'm very grateful that it's not hard for me. I'm grateful that I know that everything is going to keep unfolding beautifully, magnificently. There have been a number of times before when I've seemingly had my back against the wall, where there seemed to be no way forward, where there seemed to be no opening. And from nowhere, from absolutely nowhere, an opening came. And this is all regards to money, with regards to money, but it also applies to any and all areas. Our job and my job and the work that I'm doing now, and this is, I said that it comes relatively easy, and it does, but it's still hard work for me to do. It is still hard work for me not to try to plan the future, but to keep coming back to all is well, peace be still, thy will be done. All is well, peace be still, thy will be done. All is well, peace be still, thy will be done. It's hard work. I love to do it. I absolutely love it. But it's not, it is a whole new me that is emerging. A whole new being, a whole new level of consciousness, a whole new expression and version, because I have never responded with such peace and harmony before. I caught myself, was it a couple of days ago, smiling and laughing, because it's like I can see with my, not my first eye, but with my eyes, from my small and limited perception as a human being, I can see the obstacle at the horizon. I can see it. But yet, still, I know that I'm not even going to get to come to that obstacle, because my life is about to take another turn. I'm about to make a turn onto a path where where that obstacle is not. I'm heading for a crossroad, if you will, a fork in the road. And as I turn, there will be no obstacles, so obviously, and of course there will be challenges. I'm not saying that there will not, but this particular obstacle is not even an issue. I know it. I know it. I know it. And that's the other part that that my mind sort of freaks out about. How can I possibly know? How can I possibly know? But I have come to trust the still small voice so implicitly. I have come, and I am so grateful for the work that I have put in, realizing my oneness with spirit, realizing that truly I am forever sourced and fueled and funded. I need not control anything. I need not hold on to anything. But the more I let go, the more I release, the easier my life will flow. Forever and ever guided and moved and led, because it is God's will that my life is without strife, that my life is without struggle. And this is not only for me, obviously, it is the will of Spirit for all of us to rise above struggles and strife and efforting. I know it, I feel it, I accept it, I allow it to be. I truly, truly, truly do. For me and for you, for all of us, I call it forth. I name all of us free beings. I name all of us harmonious. I name all of us peaceful, prosperous. And even though it is somewhat challenging, I mean, I would much rather know how this is going to go down. I would much rather know the details of how this is going to work out. But I don't at the moment. And so and this is a beautiful practice. And so what I need to do is to simply stop trusting my eyes and ears. Tune in. Tune into that first eye. Tune into that still small voice. Tune into that inner knowing that all is well. All is well. Peace be still. And as I continue to surrender to Spirit, as I continue to say, Thy will be done, not as mere words, but it is my true intention. With all of my heart and being, I desire to realize my oneness with God. With all of my being. To yield. To get out of the way. I have not been struggling for a long time. But this still is and I'm not struggling now. I'm not struggling now, but this still is a paradigm shift for me. This is me going to another higher level. All is well. Peace be still. I keep reminding myself that because all truly is well. In oneness with God, there cannot be any other way. I mean, look at what Spirit has done. Spirit, the creator of all, the creator of this planet, the creator of this universe, of this cosmos, every single being. How can we not rely on that? How can we not surrender to the benevolence and the fundamental goodness of spirit. It's easy to do it with when it's not about me or mine or I. Like with an apple tree. An apple tree in the fall, it loses all of its leaves, it loses all of its fruit. It stands there barren during the winter, at least here in Sweden. But that doesn't mean that there is no supply. Just because I can't see it doesn't mean that it's not there. Mr. Bob Proctor had a saying, let me see if I can recollect it. Evidence of absence. Nah. No, I don't remember. Evidence of absence is not. No evident Nah, I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But the point is, we can see with the eye behind the eye. We can feel with our senses behind our senses. We can hear with the ear behind our ears. Regardless of appearances. And this is how healing is brought about when we stop looking at our circumstances and conditions and take them as truth or fact. When we turn within and tap in to the inherent wholeness and peace and freedom, regardless of appearances. That is how miracles are called forth. We are forever sourced and fueled and funded, forever sustained and maintained. Everything we need, we have always, 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 except for when we hinder and obstruct and obscure the fundamental goodness of spirit to flow into and through our lives by holding on to small and limited thought patterns and perceptions, by holding on to fear and worry and doubt. Like we talked about, was it last week? Or I think that life is a mirror. Life is like a mirror. It can only reflect back what we present to it, what we hold up in front of the mirror. It is all about vibrational alignment. It's all about vibration. It's all about frequencies. What we think, what we feel, what we say, what we speak about. When we elevate our vibration to the level of knowing that all of our needs are met, the whole universe rises up to meet us there. Not because we suddenly have gained God's favor. Not because Spirit all of a sudden took an interest in who we are. The sacred laws are impersonal and they are immutable. They don't care who we are. They don't care where we are. They don't care what we have done. They only respond to the vibration, the thoughts, the feelings, our words, the vibration that we are emitting in this moment. In this moment. in this moment. And so I'm very much looking forward to when the path has become clear to me, to share with you what I already know, what I have already, and this is not, it's not to brag, it's for me, this is one of those, it's beautiful to get some kind of confirmation along the way, to get a receipt as to the progress that we're making. And this will be such a receipt. This will be such a confirmation that what I know is in fact true. All is well. Peace be still. All is well. Thy will be done. And it's good. It's magnificent. It's wonderful. Something wonderful is happening. Everything is working for my good, for your good, for all of ours good. In each and every moment. I think we're done. I think Spirit has said all he wanted to say, all he needed to say. And I'm grateful for it. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for speaking through me. Thank you for flowing through me. Allowing me to stay true to my intentions. To be a teacher and a healer. And so the time has come for us to once again turn within, become still, that we may catch the intention for this upcoming week. So I invite you to close your eyes, place yourself in a comfortable position, tap in between your eyebrows, activating that one first eye, placing your hands in your lap, smiling, having your thumb and your middle finger touch, and simply ask, what's my intention? What's my intention for this upcoming week, for the next 7 days? Welcome back. If you want to share your intentions, or if you want to share something that's come up during this episode, you are more than welcome. I would love to hear it. But my intention, it's been pretty much the same over the last couple of weeks. I think I've articulated it in a different way, but my intention is to wake up. Wake up to who and what God is, to realizing my oneness with Spirit. That's to seeing Spirit everywhere. That's my intention. And so I'm going to bless us out. I'm going to thank you after I've blessed us out, but let me just begin the blessing with thanking you so, so much for participating in this, for joining me, and for your willingness. Willingness is a major key, for your willingness to grow and to expand, for your willingness to be of benefit to this planet, for your willingness to allow for more love and freedom and peace and harmony, all of that which God is to flow into this world, into this dimension. I want to thank you for your courage to walk this path, because it does take courage. It does take courage. I want to thank you for your willingness to be open and available for greater and grander versions and expressions of who and what you are to emerge. I want to thank you for your willingness to surrender, to say, Thy will be done. I want to thank you for your willingness to do the inner work necessary. And it is full of gratitude. I am so grateful, and I am so happy to be here, and I'm so grateful to be here with you. I'm grateful for this podcast. I'm so grateful for the technology that allows this podcast to come into being, that allows for this episode to be, that allows for us, you and me, to connect in this way, creating and co-creating this field. I'm so grateful for the path of awakening. I'm so grateful for the path of freedom. I'm so grateful for the path of wholeness. Whatever it was that led me into and onto this path, I give much thanks. And whatever it was that led you onto this path, I give much thanks. That we may commune and connect in this way, that we may engage and get involved in these high conversations, raising our vibration, raising our consciousness to forever higher and higher levels. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And bless you, bless you, bless you. I keep blessing this podcast, and I keep blessing all of you who are tuning in to hear my words and to hear my voice. And I keep blessing the technology that allows for this to take place. The computer, the microphone, the Zoom application, the lights. I bless it all. And I want to bless this space, my sacred space, my office. It's not only an office, but it is my sacred space. It is my sanctuary. And I want to bless it. I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for it. And so as I bless us, I do so fully knowing that something wonderful is happening. That God is forever for us, sourcing and fueling and funding us, because there is no us. There is only spirit. I bless it all. I bless it all. I bless it all. And I release this blessing fully knowing that it will not return void, but it will return fulfilled of itself. So I let it be. So I surrender. So I say, Thy will be done. Fully knowing that it is. So be it. And so be it. Amen. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, or participating, or co-creating. Once again, I bless you. I bless your way, and I do bless your way. Beautiful, beautiful being. Namaste.
You have been listening to an episode of the Path to Freedom podcast with me, Daniel Roqueo. I invite you to stay tuned for more episodes. If you have any questions or comments or just want to get more inspiration and empowerment, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. I also invite you to visit my website, danielroqueo.com. I bless your day and I bless your way, you beautiful, wonderful being.